Please give a huge round of applause to James Boyle!
Hey, give it up for Emily Woods. Everybody let her hear it. Come on. Right on. I'm really happy to be here. We're doing it. October 5th, 2024. People, we're doing it. Hell yeah. Right on. Stoked. The year 2024, you know. I was talking to my friend the other day, and he was like, man, I think I was born in the wrong generation. You know, anybody else feel that way? Anybody? Yeah? I feel like the older times would have been cooler, you know? I don't know. I'm not just saying that because I look like an extra in the movie Grease. I know what I look like. I know I look like a guy who would be like, gee whiz, Billy, heard you and your old lady are going steady. Heard you guys shared a milkshake at the Five and Dime. Gee whiz, you know? It's not just because, I know I have like an old-timey face, you know? I get that. I look like a character in West Side Story, you know? I look like I could bust into song at any moment. Somebody's like, how's your day? I'd be like, I'm doing fine! You know, I could just fucking go then, you know? I get the vibe I'm putting out there, you know? But I don't know. I think the older times were just a lot more simpler. You could just like work at your job and buy a house with your job money. That's fucking cool. That's wild. There were no side hustles, you know? You as a man could work part-time at a grocery store and buy a 3-bedroom house for your wife and kids. And even back then, your friends would be like, only 3 bedrooms? You broke son of a bitch, you know what I mean? Nowadays, I'd have to win the lottery just to think about leasing that house, you know? It's just fucking crazy, dude. I think things were just way simpler back then. I think dating was a lot simpler, you know? I don't know, like, dating used to be like, you meet someone, you know, you go steady, you get hitched, you have kids, you stay together until one of you dies. Nowadays, it's like you match, you meet if you're lucky, you get into some weird situationship, you get out of it, and you watch each other's Instagram stories until one of you dies. That's dating. That's dating nowadays, you know? For the old folks who don't know what a situationship is, I will break it down for you. It's this cool thing the kids are doing these days. It's like when 2 people are seeing each other, and the first person to get feelings loses. You're somehow wrong for that behavior. It's like, wait, you're trying to respect and cherish me as a person? Gross, get it out of here. It's kind of like playing chicken, except with cars. It's your own heart and emotions. It's like the avoidant Olympics, you know? You're just trying to dodge those feelings as best you can. All right. Some of you laugh. Some of you, I hit too close to home. I get that. That's fair. Some of you are navigating a dicey situationship right now, and that's fair. You do you, girl. Yo, you know, that's cool. I don't know, man. I think it just used to be simpler, you know? I don't know. You hear about all these, like, meet cute stories back in the day, you know? It's like, well, your grandpa and I walked home from university at the same route. One time, he came with a bouquet of roses and asked me to the big ball or whatever, you know? Like, can you imagine our stories to our kids, like, fucking 40 years from now? It's like, I swipe right, she swipe right, and that was it. It's like, well, what'd you like about her profile, Grandpa? Big tits. She had nice big ones. Well, what'd you like about his profile, Grandma? He had a boat, you know? He had access to a boat, at least, in his photos. It really attracted me to him. I thought I gotta get these cans on that boat, you know what I'm saying? The rest is history. I don't know. I think it's also like maybe easy to romanticize like the old school days, you know? Like some of those stories are kind of problematic, you know? You have like a great Aunt Carol, it's like, yeah, your great Uncle Gary asked me out 15 times. 16th time, I finally said yes. It's like, I think that's a crime. I don't think that's good at all. Seems like pretty problematic behavior on great Uncle Gary's part, I'm not gonna lie. Just take no for an answer, pal. You know? Or like, I don't know, like, I look at old relationships and I think, people used to stay together for good or for worse. And, it's easy to romanticize that, but it's not always good, Like some people, you talk to your grandma and you're like, well, there was that one time your grandpa gambled away half our life savings. He gave the other half to his secret family, but I stood by him. It's like, why? Why did you stay in that relationship? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard out here. It's tough nowadays. I think that's what I'm going to say. I don't know. Monogamy is a pretty crazy thing. Monogamy is wild when you think about it. Actually, it's like, look, I just want someone to kiss me on the mouth every day until one of us stops breathing. It's like, that's nuts. That's insane, dude. But all the other types of relationships are insane as well, too, Can't be doing polyamory. Well, you could. I don't know what you guys want to do, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm like a very old-fashioned guy, and like, my parents are 70, I can't bring a plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to my cousin's wedding, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'd like you to meet some people. This is my partner, Jenny, and that's her partner, Tom. And this is my other partner, Nova. They're in a non-binary throuple with Amelia and Fox. And you guessed it, they're also fucking Tom. He's a pretty popular guy. Like, my parents are 70 years old. They're just not gonna get that, They're just, I don't know. My parents are also still together. They're still doing it. Yeah, hell yeah. 40 years strong, for good or for worse, they're doing it. My folks are cool. My dad's an old-fashioned guy, He's like a burly construction dude, He's like, I don't know. I think his pronouns are Mark's Work Warehouse. You know what I mean? Like I said the word patriarchy in front of him the other day, and he's like, what is that, a flaky pastry? Like, he doesn't get it, It doesn't make sense to him, He also just grew up in like a crazy different life where you can just do whatever you want, Like my dad growing up, I was taking my driving exam, and my dad told me about his driving exam when he was a kid. So he grew up in like rural Alberta. Okay, it's the middle of winter. He's taking his driving exam. The guy giving him the exam is like, okay, Mr. Boyle, I couldn't help but notice that you blew past that stop sign back there. So I'm gonna have to fail you today. If we could just go back to the Department of Motor Vehicles. And my dad slams on the brakes and he goes, get the fuck out of my car. And the guy giving him the exam is like, no, sir, you can't legally operate this vehicle. He's like, fuck you, it's my car. He just kicked the guy out. Just made him walk back. Just drove his car home. What a hero, You can't do anything like that nowadays. He fucking did it, It's wild. He was blacklisted for years to get his license after that, He had his name on a list somewhere, They actually changed the protocol nowadays. They don't tell you failed the exam until they're back at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Yeah. It's because of my dad they do that. That's why. Nobody thought you could just fucking kick the guy out, and he did it, and I'm very proud of him, honestly. It's pretty cool. I don't know, man. I think I'm out of time. But you guys enjoy the rest of your show. Thank you so much. You're wonderful audience.